People always ask us how long do they have before AI starts to take root in their industry and how long they have until they miss the boat and starts really influencing things. And the answer is always the same. It's already pervading every single industry. It's already pervading every aspect of our lives. It's not coming. AI is already here. That's because we're in the information age and we have access to everything all at the same time. We have infinite options for movies and music, dating partners. Everything is in a feed. Everything has to be curated, even the news that we consume, because we can literally look at anything that we want. And so resumes, like the jobs that we see and who sees our resume, all that is influenced by algorithms. Everything that we do, every bill that we pay, when we pay it, that's all fed into algorithms. So our credit worthiness, things like insurance premiums, what houses you can buy and what loans you get approved of, everything is already influenced. It's an all pervasive thing. And even if you limit your definition of AI to just neural networks, then that's already pervading everything already. But if you expand it out to just forecasting models and machines making predictions like my credit score or my insurance premium, it being from a forecasting model, it is pervading literally everything already. A lot of people are worried that this rapid adoption is going to start pervading law and policing and even the judicial system. What if I told you this has already started to happen? Actually, 7 years ago was the first time I saw this. My resume was picked out of a pile of thousands of applicants at Thomson Reuters to work on a project that did this very same thing. We needed to process 8 trillion documents and feed them into an AI algorithm. The reason I was picked was because we needed a massive cluster of computers and a program that was a rather obscure talent at the time. And so what we did was we actually had a machine that was able to read more legal citations in a single minute than a human being can see in their entire lifetime. Because we're in the information age, we have access to all this data and all this information. But a human being just can't look through all that information. So if we have a large enough computing cluster, we can actually have AI consider every single legal citation in history. Not only that, every single time a judge swings a gavel, that actually gets fed into our system and it starts to actually learn more and more and consider more cases as the law evolves, as all this stuff starts to grow in complexity. And this wasn't an isolated situation either. I actually ran into this a few years later when I worked at a market leader in home security cameras. I'm sure all of you already know where I'm going with this. This team that I worked on had a rather close relationship with Google. And so we actually had access to all of the Google IoT product lines, Google Home, the microphones, the AC units, everything inside of your house that is a smart product that is collecting information constantly and has all these sensors. We had access to all that information, as I'm sure you probably already correctly assumed. We all know that they sell data to other companies or allow them to access it if they work very closely with them. And so this team, we actually did. 2 days into this assignment, I received a rather suspicious message from one of my coworkers. Coworker, confirm when you've received this message. Me? Okay. Hey, I've seen it. What's up? Coworker, I'm going to invite you to a Slack channel. We never spoke of this. We don't talk about this at meetings. This project even came with a menacing code name like you would see from a 3-letter agency. I won't reveal all the details of this project, I think, or the name of it. It would prove problematic for me. What I can tell you, without revealing too much, is that these home security cameras will at some point know the breed of your cat, the name of it, and the favorite food that it likes as well. That's why we need these 1 gigawatt data centers, like Project Stargate's built, to feed information like this, to make the machines that intelligent. When you have a certain set of skills, a lot of very different kinds of people reach out to you for consultation. We've worked with anyone from enterprise to government or even wealthy families. Actually, a number of family offices have been consulting with us. We've been working with them very closely. What we found is that all of them are fundamentally trying to do the same exact thing. We're trying to maximize our return on investment. I want to make my money work for me. Does that make sense? But they're doing this in spreadsheets today. A lot of them are just doing this in Microsoft Excel and things like that. And they're managing these vast portfolios that way. What you'd be less surprised to find out is that that's not the best way to do it. So large investment firms like BlackRock have these kinds of advanced capabilities. BlackRock hires these engineers, they build these models, they automate underwriting and acquisition, and they model the prices, and they do all kinds of stuff like that. But now with recent advances in technology, this is actually becoming so much more accessible that other people could do it too. The first time this ever happened was that a wealthy family reached out about a asset management project. The goal was to manage thousands of assets across their portfolio and other people's portfolios too. And their problem being that a lot of these different assets might have been in different countries, they might be all over the world, and it's just very hard to keep on track of them. And so our pilot program, our pilot project, was actually this $75 million mansion, which is actually a really difficult thing to manage. It is more expensive or more valuable than most companies, and therefore it's also actually more difficult to manage than most companies too. It is a constant construction project, and anything from like landscaping is something as simple as that can actually take an entire team just to manage. More recently, we've been contacted by a family office that's managing $100 million real estate portfolio. That is a lot of properties, so it's a problem on a much larger scale. And their bottleneck is far from their credit limit. There is, and actually just their underwriting process. How do I buy properties faster? How do I underwrite them? How do I find what the best prices are? What offers should I put out? Where are these properties? How do I send the documents out fast enough? That is the fundamental limitation. And the thing is, humans have limits because humans can only look at so many properties a day. And so the solution is very clear. Whenever people consult us for all these different problems, all these different domains, the solution is always the same. There are certain limitations that humans run into. They just can't do things fast enough. So that's where AI automation comes in. We want to be able to do this at a much larger scale. So to get past these limitations, we need what BlackRock has, which is a large set of automations that go from everything from underwriting to acquisition and deal processing and things like that. We can do the same things that the humans are doing, we just need to do them faster. So what are humans doing anyway when they're doing this process? Well, it's nothing special really. You've got to find properties, right? They're on the MLS. We need to underwrite them with some kind of proprietary formula. We need to crunch the numbers. We need to send out an offer. Bonus points if it's a lowball. If you want better prices, you just have to send more offers. It's as simple as that. You can't overcomplicate this stuff. We just need to be able to do the process and do it faster with more information, with more data, and optimize. Every business is simple if you choose to see it that way. I think it's really important to not focus too much energy on seeing the complexity and the nuance of everything. It's no wonder these family offices are so incredibly wealthy. We actually find them very easy to work with because they don't overcomplicate things. They always go with a very simple formula. More offers equals better prices. It's all about execution. It always has been. This goes for us too. We get asked to do this every now and again, and our motto is if you do something twice, it should be automated. We have about a dozen acquisition companies that lean on us for AI automation expertise. At this point, we just automated this ourselves. Our generative operating system actually manages these resources all on its own using AI too. Whether that's human resources, agents, code, it's all the same. Every single piece of a business is a cog that performs a set function, but only if you allow yourself to see it that way. At this point, I've been asked for these solutions in healthcare, finance, defense, real estate, legal, home security, likely more areas at this point. I don't remember. But literally everything can be automated in this new era. If you're not adopting AI today and you think you could just get around to it in Q1 of next year, it's already being adopted everywhere already. We're asked how to optimize it, automate a business. Is it even possible? To what extent can things be automated in the first place? It's all the same thing. It doesn't matter what field you're in. It always works. If you're able to model your business in a structured and specific process, then you begin to model what works and what doesn't. You can visualize, see insights your competition simply can't because they're too stuck in the weeds in the day-to-day chaos. It used to be that we needed engineers and consultants to help us streamline and optimize our business, but nowadays, that's been automated too. Instead of using data scientists, analysts, and engineers, we could just use AI. And that's why we built this system, because everybody fundamentally has the same needs and therefore needs the same solution. The difference between the bottom 1% and the top 1% performers in any industry is a matter of intuition and deep understanding and expertise. They've taken the risks, they've done the experiments, they've lost and they've learned from it. It's battle scars, and it's years of experience that is human intuition. But the difference is that machines can do this too. They can learn exactly the same way that we have or that we can, but they can do it at a much larger scale and much faster. Like the legal citation system that I built for Thomson Reuters. It would look at more citations in a minute than a human would see in their entire lifetime. There's nothing really mystical about our human intuition. It's just pattern recognition we pick up after years and years and years of trial and error. So we understand how difficult it could be to improve and optimize things within your company. That's why I built these AI tools to streamline it. Do not miss the boat on this one. There's no need to. Just reach out to our team. We could sit down in just a few hours. We could do a consultation and figure out what would your company look like if you automated everything. What can be automated? And if you don't know, then just reach out to somebody and ask. you'd be surprised to see that it is literally everything.